Boom. All right. We're back again.
Zoom, you
little
suck.
Damn Zoom when you have three people.
Fuckers.
They only give you 40 minutes and we talked for like 30 minutes before. But let's get into this. We already kind of talked about the recap, the rankings. So we're going to go into week 10 matchups. Also trade deadline is Saturday.
I don't know if it's, I think it is Saturday because I guess technically you could trade on Sunday and Monday because that's part of week 10. Sleeper doesn't give you a description of that in the setting, and I don't remember from last year.
It says trades are not allowed after week 10.
Okay.
That means once your player starts playing, they're not tradable. That's what I'm assuming.
There's no description in the app, so I honestly don't know. I guess.
You can trade a player.
So maybe Sunday night.
It could be Monday.
Well, no, because you could trade a player that played. I've done that before.
I don't know when the week transitions to. Definitely by next Tuesday, no trading. So
yes,
I don't know if anybody's gonna have any last minute, but if the app lets you do it, then whatever.
I will
try and get it in. Try and get it in by Saturday night, Sunday morning to be safe. But
I'll be calling you, Nikki. Nikki, I'm gonna be calling you.
We know. You're probably already texting them. All right. So let's get into this week's matchups here. At top of my screen, it's always going to be me. I got to switch it up eventually, but that's just how it does it. I have myself versus Garrett. Myself 6-3, Garrett 4-5. Looking for a big win. He has me on a big bye week. I don't have Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I don't have Calvin Ridley either. And my deal, I think I had like another injury, Ridley. Preston Williams is a question mark, being hurt now too. So this is definitely a good week for Garrett to be facing me. Big win for him. It's going to be it's an interesting matchup. The predictions are tight. Got myself Deshaun versus Cleveland. Obviously, that's a great matchup.
Yep.
And I have, as of now, Cousins versus Chicago. I don't like the Cam versus Baltimore. Pretty much any other team besides maybe Baltimore and Pittsburgh, I'd roll Cam out. But they literally have the worst wide receiver tight end room in the league. So I'm rolling Cousins, and he's got Herbert versus Miami. Respectable defense. Wink. And Rodgers for Jacksonville, and Rodgers has just been throwing the ball all over the field. I'll let you guys kind of decide our matchups, I guess. I don't like talking about my own, but I'll let you guys get into it.
Well, Herbert's got a great matchup. Kyler dog walked this defense last week, so I don't know why Herbert can't do the same.
Had to watch the game.
There's the fanboy.
I watched it.
Had to watch the game, but you can go with it.
Oh, I watched it.
Nah.
Yeah, you got to get – I'll get the nod to Herbert too and Rodgers. Both those guys I think I would rather want this week than Watson and Cousins. So, to me, I give the edge to
Rodgers,
Gary.
The Jags, the stone worst. They're just about as bad as you can get from a, quarterback matchup standpoint when it comes to them defending quarterbacks. They just suck. And Rodgers has made it clear last week that they will just fucking keep throwing touchdowns over and over and over again, no matter how much they're ahead. So
he's trying to prove a point. So
yep.
Yeah.
So that's it's just like it's like Russell Wilson this year. It's like there's something that's driving them. They have a purpose and a reason besides just a Super Bowl. They both have won Super Bowl. So,
but in that same sense, you got Aaron Jones. He's I don't think he was as healthy last week as you would have wanted him to be. But I think now he's probably going to be a little healthier because they had the long, rest after the Thursday game.
He should be 100% by now.
And then you got Dalvin Cook, who is just, we were talking about it earlier. He's just a stud.
Yeah. Sabina definitely has the edge at running back. I like Edmonds as a player, but Kyler Murray just takes so much off. He just takes so much away from the running back. So
Drake had 28 touches last week and did nothing with them.
Right. And then you got Zach Moss, which is sharing with Josh Allen and Singletary, so that he can easily. Yep. So I think that's where it's a clear Savini.
Clear
running backs.
Clear Savini.
That's just obvious.
Receivers
my running backs might outscore my quarterbacks.
Receivers are what's going to make or break this game.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
A-Rob, just the great matchup against the Vikings. Their corners are still hurt and they suck even when they have them. But Nick Foles sucks. So, this guy is probably going to see 10 targets in a game that's going to be relatively close, but you just can't trust it with Foles and the way that offense plays. They just don't do very well.
And Mike Williams is, I love the talent, but it's really the Keenan Allen show there. Mike Williams is just not necessarily, you can put up those, 20 pointers, but it's not necessarily a lock.
At least he gets deep stuff. Mike Williams.
Yes.
At least he gets deep stuff and he gets like his 7 targets a game. Keenan Allen's just,
PPR
like
machine,
an absurd, target share right now. Him and Devontae Adams are the only 2 guys that have 30% target share. He's just a volume hog. But if you want to have anybody else on that team, it's probably Williams because he can at least catch a deep ball.
And then, Marvin Jones, Galladay's not playing, and as long as Stafford's in there, Godwin has like a fucked up thumb. I saw the cast on it on TV. I don't even know how you're catching a ball with that anyways. So I think
crazy.
I don't like the matchup for Marvin Jones necessarily. I don't like the
matchup.
He just doesn't get enough looks. Looks.
Exactly.
Because they don't throw.
On top
they don't throw.
That's it. They don't throw.
They don't give a fuck about throwing.
Say what you want about Washington, but their front 7 is just they're beasts, and they just get after the quarterback, and he's so, and then Beasley's whatever. He just he's your bye week guy that you're just hoping he gets you 10 to 15 would be great for you.
Honestly, his best play is Cooks. Honestly, Cooks is probably his best wide receiver play this week. Robinson's got good volume, but since Deshaun's back, Cooks has been awesome.
Oh,
but then,
Garrett,
But then Savini's got Deshaun. This is like a weird matchup because you guys are all going to be eating into each other. You know what I mean?
Right. Herbert throwing to Mike Williams and Deshaun throwing to Cooks.
Yeah.
Rodgers possibly throwing to Aaron Jones.
To dump down to Jones.
Yep.
Cousins throwing to Jefferson.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of crossover there.
This is just kind of a weird one.
I would like to give Mark Andrews to Savini, but
Mark Andrews sucks.
He has not.
Lamar sucks. Okay, Andrews is making a spectacular catch.
For
He had like 3
fancy
drops
purposes, Mark Andrews has sucked.
Yeah, well, tight end sucks. Pretty much anywhere outside of Kelsey this year.
Yeah. Yes, that's true too.
And Waller, but
that's true. Yeah.
That's both of them are pretty much just like a hope for a touchdown because
toss up.
Ravens passing game is just been terrible. Hollywood Brown's been terrible.
How's Fant doing?
Terrible. He's like hurt.
Fant's injury up.
Injury wise.
Fant does well when Fant does. He played last week. They said he's good to go. That's why I kind of have my flex there.
Dream
matchup. When he's healthy, they give him looks. Which I love. I'm monitoring Preston Williams, to see really where his injuries
at. He plays. I don't think
Preston plays either. Yeah. Preston, you're saying?
Yeah, Preston. I don't think he plays. I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Not my ideal. Just not my ideal. None of my week 1 fucking receivers out there. Not ideal for me this week.
Here's how I see this game playing out. Garrett smashing at quarterback, Savini smashing at running back, and then whichever one of them has a 25-point wide receiver score is going to win.
And I think honestly, I think Cooks is going to be the difference maker down there. Ultimately, if he has like a 20-pointer, I think that's where Garrett will win.
One of these,
ultimately, I think
one of these 7 wide receivers will have 25 points, and whoever it is going to be the winner.
And it's a sense like for me, it's does Andrews have his 20-point week or does he have his 5-point week?
Right. Yeah.
That's it. And interesting thing on this is I dial up Cousins and Cooks on Monday night, and he dials up Justin Jefferson and Allen Robinson. So we each got 2 players duking it out on Monday night. So it'll be interesting.
Slight edge to Gary because of the QBs, and that seems to be how it's been going.
Yeah, no, I agree. I definitely am giving Gary the nod this week in the prediction.
I could see that. I don't think our quarterback gap will be that much, but I do think that Rodgers and Cousins will be a big difference. I think Deshaun can outscore all of the quarterback, all four, but I think Cousins run heavy offense. I think, and with Rodgers and Herbert playing out, they are. I mean, honestly, I don't love my Marvin Jones play as much because they don't pass. Cole Beasley, I think he's consistent, but this is a week I need a boom guy, and I don't really have one. I need Fant can be consistent. I would give the nod to Garrett if I was the outside looking in, and this is probably the only matchup all year I would give the nod to my opponent. But it's an interesting matchup here, though. I think it's got potential to be a close one. Yeah, it's interesting.
I mean, the projections show. I know the projections are shit, but I mean, look at the projections. They still show you that it's a close game. So time will tell. Time will tell.
So we all vote for Gary. Next game.
You know what I'd like to start doing too? I'm going to do this right now. Let's start keeping track of our
like they do on TV. I like that.
Yeah, when all the guys pick the Bucks on Sunday.
I've been wanting to do that. Yeah, you see that? All right, so Garrett.
Week 10, yep.
Damn.
Week 10.
I need this is when I should pick myself to get to give the difference of you two.
Yeah.
But
you already voted. Can't change your vote.
I gotta give the nod. I'm okay with that. Next matchup, we got Bubs at 5-4 versus Goosey. I'm still in playoff contention. Street Hooligans at 3-6.
The projections are favoring them though.
They are crazy. Which is crazy. I mean, Brady. Brady has been. I don't know. He had a 40-point a couple weeks ago. So I think it's because of Big Ben though getting 0 because of
COVID. They put him at 0. I didn't realize that they put him at 0. That's why. Okay.
Yeah,
I think I think he plays though.
Because he didn't have COVID, he was just in contact. So we'll find out in the next couple of days.
He's got to wait 5. He's got to wait 5 days. Which means he should be there for Saturday.
Yeah, so it's Big Ben as of now. I say we still talk about this matchup like it's Big Ben. Because if it's Darnold, I'm picking Goosey. I'm not even looking at the rest. Kidding. I got to see the matchups. But Big Ben versus Cincy, divisional game. Brady versus Carolina, another divisional game.
With Burrow on the other side.
Dimes versus Burrow on the other side versus Pitt, and then Dimes versus Philly. So all divisional games from the quarterback. I think I would give the nod to Bubs.
Adam.
I'm giving the nod to Bubs.
100%.
I mean, I wouldn't surprise me if Burrow puts up a crazy big game and Danny Dimes puts up a respectable 20-25. A rushing touchdown or something, and being usually division games, they play each other so well at times, and the division sucks in general.
Exactly.
And then because Brady just put up 5, so it's not like he's
going to come out and
guy. It wouldn't surprise me if Timmy wins it, but I think if I had to pick a quarterback room, it would be Bubs, but I wouldn't be surprised if Goosey's leaders at quarterback can pull it off.
I could see that. I'm going to go Bubs just because of Big Ben, playing a rookie and Burrow getting that tough Pittsburgh defense for the first time this year. He's, I think his only other tough matchup was against Baltimore and he threw up 3 points, Burrow. It's just going to, it's what do you got? It's an away game. It's in Pittsburgh. I'm going to give the nod, big nod to Big Ben. And then I think you don't see Brady come out and dud. You know what I'm saying? Brady's
not against the Panthers.
People wrong. Not against the Panthers.
You know what I'm saying? Is that bad?
So I'm going to give a nod to Bubs there. We'll go into running back here. They're both flexing receivers, so that's good. So it's 2-2. Gordon versus Raiders, Hunt versus Houston, and Chubb might be back. Singletary versus Arizona, and Philip Lindsay versus Las Vegas, which is interesting because both fucking Denver running backs.
And I gotta go with Bubs here just because Singletary is like the third rusher, and that I think Moss is between the two to have right now, and Allen is like the number 1 running back there.
They trust Moss more at the goal line.
Yes, yeah. Well, that's where he's going to gain the points. Yeah, and that's where he's going to gain the points. If not, Allen stealing. So Singletary has, unless it's going to look at me a long run, which he hasn't done this year really. that's why he's not in the past. He's not really getting a lot of PPR work, so he's not going to give you a ceiling.
I agree.
I mean, I think this is an easy Bubs nod, right?
Too.
You just look at the two Denver running backs, right? Melvin Gordon is obviously more of the guy there, right?
Yes.
It can fluctuate.
It's close.
It's close, but like a little bit more of the.
Who would you rather
right?
play? I'd rather play Melvin Gordon personally.
Me too, but I mean, then I know his receivers looked good last week, but I mean, Hopkins alpha, Diggs alpha, like you know.
Oh, you went to receivers? Yeah.
I'm just saying, like I know we're talking like that's a little close at maybe at quarterback and running back, but I mean, just huge edge to.
Well, yeah, we're gonna pop it.
Yes.
Honestly, I think even having Hunt and if Chubb comes back, I think that almost helps Hunt a little bit, as odd as that is, because the game plan.
He's performed better. He performed better with Chubb actually playing. I heard
exactly.
At one point.
Exactly. So, and I think Singletary is never gonna scare. You know, he's literally could if he has 2 touchdown runs, right? He literally will probably score only 15, 16 points. So, you give the nod there running back. But then, like Hitch was saying here, this
wide receiver room
it's not even a debate. Hopkins, Chark, Diggs, Higgins,
all can put up 40 points.
Yep. Versus Boyd.
I love
Judy,
Boyd. I love Boyd. I mean, I don't think. I mean,
you're not
Judy
going to see him
somebody.
Hit 40.
No, I don't. I mean, Kirk. You're not. I don't see.
Not like
2 weeks
not like
a
Hopkins is going to, right?
No.
Right. Yeah. So that's where
you said
not as definitely at
Kirk actually 3 weeks in a row has scored over 20 points. So how long does that stay up?
Oh, Kirk's been great, and Judy looked great.
Well,
last
that's
week
the thing
too.
is if Kirk, that's the thing. If Hopkins is going to get it, then Kirk is not, and vice versa. I don't see them exploding.
Arguably, this game versus Miami was Kirk's actual first real good game as a wide receiver.
Because he got target volume.
Because he had 8 targets. He had 5 catches for 123 and a touchdown. You know, he had 37 receiving yards, but had 2 touchdowns that one week. You know, as a receiver, you didn't dominate. You just got to look in the end zone.
His role's expanding big time.
It is. He's starting to, we take the top off defenses, man. You have to watch the Kyler run. You have to watch Hopkins too. Fitz is still respectable. And next, one-on-one, Christian Kirk sprinting down the deep down the field. But Judy broke out last week. Kind of had his. I feel like that was his I'm finally here week. Yep.
Which I like all those guys, but I mean I think Boyd's the only one that's proven that he could be consistent at this point of putting up some numbers on a week to week basis. Like I know Kirk and Judy could put up those numbers, but I'm not confident enough to say they're going to do it consistently week in week out. Where Boyd, Kirk, no, and Judy, no.
I mean, Hopkins and Diggs are top 5 in the league in receiving yards, and
so that's
I think
to me
tight end is completely. I could care less about this tight end matchup. I don't even care. Just flip a coin and tell me where it landed. Just flip a coin and tell me where it landed.
I'll take the Hooper side, but only slightly.
That's fine. Yeah, which would make sense. I would too, because he's going to get more targets. I mean, it's funny how the world went crazy after Tanya had Grizz. You jumped on the wagon. I mean, he had.
I did. I like.
He found the end zone.
I like. I still like the player. I think
big boy. He's a big boy.
It's just the Adams show, man.
But it's Adams. And has Rodgers ever consistently peppered his tight end in recent years?
Not recently. Jermichael Finley was the last one, and I thought when I saw him, I'm like, I love the talent. I love the way he was looking. He looked dynamic. He still looks dynamic, but he's not getting the targets.
Right, and he doesn't get the money.
He can't catch the ball.
And tight end's TD dependent anyway. And since Adams, over the last 3 weeks, Adams has had 15 of 25 red zone targets and 4 of 6 end zone targets. So it's literally just he's the only guy getting the ball.
Mm-hmm. And I felt that pain with Aaron Jones too, because I'd feel like Jones does all the work almost to get so close, and then they dial up a play and give it to Devontae Adams.
Every time.
I can't even get mad. I don't even blame him. I would do the same thing. It's just he's matchup proof. You know what I'm saying? And Rodgers puts that ball up top and it's favors his receiver. And he throws that ball so nice.
So good.
And then we go T. Higgins, aka Bubs' new
Saquon Barkley.
Bubs' new toy, baby.
Bubs' new toy. I think
he's bringing it out to play.
He takes it around the block, which this is interesting because this is not a good flex for Timmy to have playing against because he's got Burrow. Burrow obviously likes Higgins. Even if he does find the end zone, the wide receiver always outscores the quarterback production, right? Whenever they're catching, they get more points. So,
Right.
And not good for Timmy when he needs Burrow in a big quarterback matchup. I'm going
Bubs
by a lot. I think he waxes Goosey's little tiny goose butt.
Waxes him.
He waxes him, bro. This isn't even a matchup. This isn't even a matchup to monitor. And from here on out, after this week, there's no more Goosey and playoff talk.
What's the
he's gonna
over-under?
go extinct.
Oof.
He's gonna go extinct.
What's the over?
Oh my god!
Then?
I think
I'll
Bubs
take a
wins
bet.
by 25 plus.
25.
He's gonna win by more than 25 points.
That's actually not that much. Realistically,
your Goosey bets have not gone well this year.
You just beat him by 100, and you're only gonna make it 25 points.
I think Timmy
50.
Yeah, at least 50. The fuck
I'm
out
not
of
betting
here.
you. What do you want me to bet you? It's fantasy.
Friendly.
We only have 40 minutes. Next game.
Yeah. All right. So we're all we're all going Bubs.
Grizz, get the fuck out of here. 50 points.
Yeah. Right. What?
You just beat him by 100.
Anything can happen.
By 100.
I did. No one else scored 192 this week.
I know, because your team's amazing, Sabini.
Bubs would only beat Timmy by like 20 points this week. I think he scored 116. So 25 is a good one.
So you're saying this game's gonna be 100 to 75?
What?
Is that what I just heard?
Nah. It'll be 145. 145 to 150 Bubs, and Timmy's gonna score $117.
All right, I heard it here first.
Record it. So I said what?
145 to
117.
All right, so we all went.
If I get that right, you guys owe me dinner or something.
Sure.
Sure.
All right, so we all write it down. We all went Bubs though.
I did.
Bubs.
All right. This one we got Hitch 2-7 versus Brian. I get bailed out all the time, Boyani. I'm gonna say all the time just because of one time with TFC.
Let's hope not this week.
But yeah, right. Interesting matchup with Kyler versus Buffalo, Tua versus Chargers, which I love the Tua Herbert game, by the way. And then Locke versus Las Vegas and Wentz versus the Giants.
Dodging Kelsey and Matt Ryan.
All good matchups. All good matchups.
Right.
That's
but he gets Michael Thomas back.
He gets Michael Thomas back. I'm gonna give the nod to you, obviously, here. I mean, Kyler.
I don't think it's obvious though.
We're gonna do this again. I mean, we just did this last week, and we're gonna do this again. Josh Allen literally had the game of his life to match Kyler, and Tua in his second game still fucking.
Carson Wentz is playing the Giants.
Showed Derek Carr who his fucking daddy was.
The Giants are an NFL football team.
He says, "We're gonna do this again. We're gonna do this again."
God. Whatever. I can't argue this.
Grizz not giving you love. Grizz not giving you love is like you to me.
Hey, somebody's got to be the bad guy. Somebody's got to be the bad guy.
See how it feels. You see how it feels, Hitch. You just want your respect, right?
I don't feel a certain way. I just.
All right. I don't know. It sounded like it.
I just can't believe we're gonna hear it. I just can't believe we're gonna have this argument again.
I mean, Kyler is just the safest play. I mean, between his elite running and I mean, he's on pace to rush for 1,000 yards and 16 rushing touchdowns, and he's still on pace to pass for 4,000 yards. Like, give the man his money right now. Just give him his extension.
He's got those
but you play two quarterbacks.
Right, and Tua Tagovailoa looks like the real fucking deal. I'm taking Tua over Locke. I'm taking Tua over Wentz. Wentz has an easy matchup, though. But
Tua just ran for 40 yards last week.
And so does Locke's matchup. Locke's matchup is not that hard. I mean, it's Las Vegas. Whatever the defense.
I'm still taking. I mean, Tua is. I'm saying Tua's the better quarterback.
I'm saying if I had to pick and choose, I'm picking. If I had to pick the quarterbacks, yes, I would be picking amusement parks. But I don't think I wouldn't surprise me if Brian's team ended up putting up more points at quarterback.
It would surprise
me. Maybe only because Wentz plays the Giants. Maybe because Wentz plays
this particular week. I'm talking about this particular week. I'm not talking overall. Like, so
I think
we'll see you next week.
I think big nod to Hitch at quarterback.
I agree.
We will see you next week. Running back, he's got Chubb coming back.
That's
you know,
Huge.
big, you know, versus
matchup,
Houston, which is a
too.
good
Great
matchup. You know,
matchup.
they're going to dial up some things for him. And then Jacobs at Denver. You're kind of waiting for Jacobs to kind of bust back on the scene after week one,
he's been
know?
like a semi disappointment.
I said that was
and
gonna
the
be his
thing
last game.
is, and the thing is, I feel like when you watch him, he looks elite. I just feel like he's not really having. He's not. Doesn't have much to do. You know, not a lot of holes and whatnot. You know, so it's interesting. But it's interesting they made that trade, and I mean, he put up 16 points.
Jacobs.
He put up 16 points and 14 points. Yeah, so he's blowing Lockett out. Lockett's not doing. I mean, I think Lockett has 12 or 13 points in 2 weeks. So, you know, he sold Lockett high, and that's it. I mean, DK is DK, and then Lockett in Seattle. Hitch, you got Swift and Gibson. I'm gonna give a big nod to Boyani's running backs here.
I do
just
too.
You know, Swift obviously there he looks great. Gibson looks great. I don't love Washington, but I think game script they're similar game scripts, so I think he could have like a 100-yard rushing game here. Gibson, Swift. I mean, you don't see the consistency. Nope. I'm going to give the nod. Names.
Well, I mean, he's consistent, but they just
everything.
Don't put him on the field because Matt Patricia's a fucking dog.
Right. He's a fucking
idiot. He should be a three down back by now.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm giving a nod to Boyani. Then you got Scary Terry in a great matchup versus Detroit. What is Alex Smith? How much pepper does Alex Smith put on Scary Terry's plate?
More than he's
right. You're dialing up Antonio Brown. You think he's got to give you that boom, right? He's got to find the end zone this week, you would think. And then Jalen Reagor, which is interesting because Wentz, you think Reagor should have a big game plan. I'm dialing up Reagor in redraft. I mean, you know, the talent's there, the matchup's there.
So is Fulgham.
Is Philly good enough? Is Philly good enough to, you know, start giving him some more looks? It was actually nice though when they got in the goal line. They dialed up Reagor's numbers and ran some plays for him. So they obviously say that your talent's there. Let's get the confidence going, and we'll open up the playbook for you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I know Fulgham. I know Fulgham. You got to back it up.
No, I'm talking about Dallas Goedert too. You forget that little tight end.
Goddard is back.
So listen, I'm just making Fulgham because he's going to bite. Like Reagor is really.
I think
it hasn't really.
Reagor's going to get the bomb. Reagor's going to get the bombs though. He's going to play Deshaun Jackson role. When they get him up.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Fulgham's going to be Alshon Jeffrey.
Yeah. And then Reagor, and then Deontay Johnson, Cincinnati. Gotta love the matchup. It's interesting there because Juju, Claypool, and Deontay Johnson are all have been fantasy pretty solid there.
It's
Pittsburgh, yeah, literally. Connor, but hasn't. Connor has in the last 2 weeks. So you think he into that this week? You know, he can't dud. But then, I mean, Michael Thomas versus San Fran's busted up DBs.
Yep.
Keenan Allen getting peppered with targets. DJ Moore, I mean,
he's a hit or miss.
Scary. Not scary.
He's had 14. He's had 14 targets over the last 3 weeks. He's
terrible.
He's fell way behind Robbie Anderson.
For him.
And
Curtis
honestly,
Samuel's starting to pass him.
And honestly, he had that one game he put up 25 points. He had only 5 targets. He just put it in the end zone twice, you know? So yikes on DJ Moore. And then flexing Adam Thielen versus Chicago.
Deontay Johnson. Yeah.
Honestly,
Thielen hasn't done shit in 3 weeks.
Thielen hasn't done anything in the last couple of weeks, so he's bound to get in that. He's bound to, you know, get it going again. You can't flop like that.
It is Chicago. It is Chicago and
right.
But
receivers, although DJ Moore does do it for me. I mean, you gotta give the receiver nod to Boyani here.
100%.
Obviously, you know, Scary Terry, AJ Brown can boom. They're more likely to boom more than Reagor can. Deontay Johnson should be pretty good.
We got 10 minutes.
Versus Gesicki.
Okay.
Do we?
All
right. Hockenson versus Gesicki. I'm gonna give the nod just to Hockenson. I guess.
Me too. I think it's Hockenson.
All right, Boyani.
All right, I'll go Boyani too.
What about you, Hitch?
I'll go Boyani also. I think I really need some stuff to happen this week.
Some big boom.
You need Swift. Yeah.
How many more minutes we got?
10.
9 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh Jesus! All right, 4 and 5, Nikki. Sam 7 and 2. You got some Tannehill and Baker if he comes back from COVID versus Allen Goff. I'm going Sam's quarterbacks.
Me too.
I think Baker's just sucks and whatever.
Well, Tannehill
so
has a tough matchup.
That's
too.
it. So yeah, true. But running back Kamara and Robinson, Henry Fournette. Nod to Nicky here. Kamara is just, it's Breeze's favorite wide receiver. Robinson has been killing it. Henry is a monster, but Fournette has just been catching balls and sharing time with Ronald Jones. I don't know if he's still projected at what he is. Damn, a skunk was just outside. Juju versus Cincy, Fuller versus Cleveland, Anderson versus Tampa Bay, Fulgham versus Giants, facing Cup versus Seattle. Adams, Mr. Matchup Proof himself. Evans versus Carolina. Lockett versus the Rams.
Sam.
I need to process this.
I think it's pretty close, but I think I got to go with Sam.
It's pretty close. I'm going to go Sam. I think
Adams puts him over the edge, I think, for me, but I think it's a lot closer. I think it's a lot closer than.
You'd think off a bye, Cooper Kupp should have a good week. McVay is a good coach. He dials up good players after bye weeks. Adams, matchup proof. Evans, whatever, maybe he hits, whatever. Logan Thomas versus Goddard. I'm going Goddard there. So I think Sam just swept the floor. No, not running backs. So I'm going Sam with the win here.
Sam, but it's close.
Nick, it's a big bro.
Sam, but close, yeah.
Yes.
Well,
this is a big week for Nicky.
It's
big week for Nicky at 4 and 5, man. Big week. It could get really real ugly for him if he doesn't get a win here. But that's it, So, all right, we'll tap in here. We got Grizzly Nation at 5 and 4, coming off a tough loss versus
big win for the nation. Big game for the nation
versus Brett. I don't play CMC French at 2 and 7. Kind of getting his team back though. It's funny he's got CMC in the lineup now. You could probably retract that now. But whatever.
Keep him in.
Yeah. So we got Russ versus Lamar versus Stafford versus Luton. Lamar's not himself, but it doesn't really matter. I'm going by Grizz's quarterbacks by a mile. I think Grizz's quarterbacks double the score of French's. Mark my words, double the points. That's it. Because Lamar eventually has to pop out. He has to pop off. Connor, Cincy, Carson versus the Rams. I think they finally dial up Carson this week. So that's a huge add-on for Grizz. It's big not having him in your lineup. Yeah. CMC / Mike Davis versus, and then Miles Sanders coming back. Very interesting. If
CMC's in, obviously it's French.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, I agree. If CMC, even if Mike Davis is in, he still does great on the roll. I think if it's a share time thing, then maybe you can give the tilt to Grizz, but I'll give the tilt to French here. Sanders has a cake matchup versus the Giants too. Yep. Robert Woods, Myers, Green.
Yeah, all my guys are on buys.
Yep. AJ Brown, Claypool, Metcalf. Gonna give the nod to Frenchie here.
This is gonna be a close game.
AJ's been ripping. Claypool's targets have been very nice, and DK literally ate my little brother for breakfast. So I'm gonna go Frenchie's receivers here. Then you got McKissick and Juno in the flex. I'll give the tilt to McKissick there. Ingram, Waller, I'll give the nod to Waller. Wow. Frenchie's kind of dialed up this week.
He's been dialed up every week. His team scores points, man. Just last week. He
does. Well, health-wise too. He's kind of back,
for sure.
AJ Brown, CMC Sanders. Obviously his quarterback situation is not ideal, but this is a huge win for French. French had a serious and could easily have made playoffs and gave a good push. He still can technically, but if he did that CMC play, man, that would have been huge for him. I'm actually going to give him the nod to French here.
Me too.
I just really like his matchups.
CMC plays,
and that's a thing. And how healthy is Sanders? That all comes into play. I can't trust AJ Green. I can't trust Myers versus Baltimore. Robert Woods, I think, smashes against Seattle coming off a bye.
QB situation.
Juno get an end zone target.
QB situation could be ugly though. That's the only thing.
But that's the thing. That's the thing, man.
That's where I think I'm going to make up all my ground, and I think that's where I legitimately win this game. That's why I'm going to take myself is by the quarterbacks because
yes, love it.
Yeah.
I mean, Stafford against that Washington. That's fair. I don't think I'm going to walk
just
in there easily.
Slight French because if I think CMC is going to play.
Okay, so
I don't think he plays. I don't think he plays.
With that being
too early to
said,
tell.
our rankings through our weekly picks are going to be tied unless Grizz beats French and if French beats Grizz. So it's going to be that's the matchup because I didn't pick myself to beat Garrett just because of my bye week situation. But you know what? I love the confidence, Grizz.
Love it.
Oh, I mean, and when it comes down to it, I don't think CMC plays. I just don't. I think they're going to at least give him a week off his shoulder. He was that much in pain on the sidelines.
But if they completely limit him out and Mike Davis gets the thumbs up, he's shown that he can.
He's shown he can still
tough
pop,
matchup,
but it's
though.
still not. It's not
tough
CMC
matchup.
though.
But a tough matchup. But
I'll take my quarterbacks over. Stafford against that front seven in Washington, and then Lutton against Green Bay. I mean, your quarterbacks could put up 60, 70. His quarterbacks could put up 30. That's a major difference to catch up on. If Carson plays, we could be eating our words. But I just think with the receivers and stuff that he's dialing out, I mean, his youth and receivers. I mean, Brown, Claypool, DK there. That's like
savage.
Good for him, man. I mean, he's hitting on his picks. He doesn't trade, but he's drafted well and he's young, so it doesn't matter at this time.
Yep. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna be. It's not gonna be an easy game to win by any means because of all my bye weeks. Because I'm missing Julio Jones. I'm missing Cooper. I'm missing a bunch of guys here. So, but hey, those are bye weeks for you.
Yep.
Exactly.
So we got anything else?
I think
that's it, right?
That's it.
Yeah, that's where we stand. Until next week.
Good luck, everyone.
Gotta stay under the time because Zoom sucks. Peace.
Yep.
And you got a pie.
See ya.